Welcome to StoryHaven, a place where stories speak to the heart, restore faith, and remind us that every twist of fate carries a deeper meaning. Before we begin today's story, take a moment to subscribe to StoryHaven and walk with us through stories that reveal light even in life's darkest moments. Sometimes, what feels like betrayal is actually a destined turn, a necessary redirection. Sometimes, what we see as loss turns out to be unseen protection. When doors close, it is not because God has forgotten you, but because He is building another door, one that only you can open. This is the story of Jack, the son of a gardener, a man who lost everything he thought was his world, only to discover the path God had prepared for him long before he could ever see it. Jack grew up surrounded by love, the scent of earth, blooming flowers, and a warmth that filled every corner of his childhood. His father was a humble and gentle gardener, known throughout the town for his honesty and kindness. People often whispered, "Whatever he plants, even the heavens bless." Every flower in their garden was more than beauty. It was a quiet lesson in patience, faith, and tender care. But time, like the seasons, never stands still. Jack's father's health slowly began to fade. The man who once labored tirelessly beneath the sun could now only sit quietly in its light, each breath growing heavier than the last. One evening, Jack's father called his younger brother home. Jack's uncle arrived with worry written across his face, sensing the weight of farewell filling the room. The old man smiled weakly and said, "If I'm gone, please take care of Jack for me." His brother nodded softly, gripping his hand in silent promise. Moments later, the old man's breathing slowed. His chest rose one final time, then fell still. Brian returned with medicine only to find Jack's uncle standing motionless, tears in his eyes, whispering, "He's gone." Outside, the garden stirred gently in the wind, as if nature itself bowed in farewell to the man who had given it a lifetime of love. The days that followed passed in rituals and heavy silence. When the ashes had settled, Jack's uncle stepped forward holding a folded piece of paper. In a calm voice, he said that Jack's father's final wish was for Jack to take the village land and build a house there, while this home, and the garden, would belong to him. The words struck Jack like lightning. "This house," he whispered. "The garden too?" His uncle only nodded, avoiding Jack's eyes. The villagers murmured warnings, but Jack could not doubt his father. If this was truly his wish, he would obey, even as his heart broke. Jack packed a small bag, a few clothes, his father's photograph, and a scarf. He took one last look at the garden and walked away. The village land was nothing like the home he loved. There were no trees, no water, only cracked soil and scattered stones. Jack sat there clutching his father's photo. "Why would you send me here, father?" he whispered. As the sun set, an elderly woman appeared carrying a basket of warm pancakes. She stopped beside him and said gently, "Eat, child. You cannot build dreams on an empty stomach." He took one, his eyes still heavy with sorrow. She smiled kindly and said, "You look just like your father. Kind eyes, a strong spirit. Believe in yourself. You can make this land bloom again." Her words lingered in his heart long after she left. The next morning, Jack tried to hire workers. They followed him, but when they saw the barren land, they laughed. "Not even God could make grass grow here," one said before turning away. That night, Jack sat beneath a sky full of stars, exhausted. His hands were empty, but his heart remembered his father's words, "When no one helps you, even the land watches your effort." He stood, took a shovel, and began working alone. Day followed day, then weeks. His hands blistered, his back ached, yet he did not stop. One day his shovel struck something hard, a wooden chest buried beneath the soil. He dug it out and carefully opened it. Inside was an old letter, its ink faded but the signature clear. It was from his grandfather. The letter said that he knew city life would pull his sons away, but his final wish was to see a home built on this land. The land held not just stones, but gold, not beneath the soil, but within a heart that believes. If Jack was reading this, he was the one chosen to fulfill that wish. At the bottom of the chest was a small pouch of gold coins and a notebook filled with careful hand-drawn plans, guides for digging channels, planting seeds, and growing a garden even in drought. Tears filled Jack's eyes. His father had not abandoned him. This was how he honored his own father's final wish. Jack had not been cast away. He had been entrusted with a purpose. Using the gold and the notes, Jack began again. He built water channels, planted seeds, and tended every inch of soil with care. Season after season passed. Green slowly replaced brown. Butterflies returned. Birds filled the air with song. Years later, the once barren land had become a breathtaking garden where travelers stopped simply to rest. A small house stood beside it, humble yet full of life. The villagers called it Jack's Garden of Faith. One morning, Jack's uncle came quietly, holding a flower. He placed it near the entrance and said, "Your father would be proud." Jack smiled, not with pride, but with peace. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "Your plan never fails, God. I just couldn't see it before. When everything you love is taken from you, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, what now?" Sometimes God must break your plans to show you His. You may lose people, homes, and dreams, but you will never lose what has been destined for you. If life feels unfair, remember Jack. He was not punished. He was prepared. When God takes something from your hands, He is not rejecting you. He is guiding you towards something greater. When God has a better plan for you, it always begins where your plan ends. Thank you for spending this time with StoryHaven. If Jack's story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to StoryHaven so you never miss another story that reminds us faith is often born where loss seems greatest. We look forward to seeing you again in the next story.